Hello, Hannah. This is Tony. I'm responding to your video blog, which I enjoyed watching, by the way. Um, you mentioned that you would rather receive counseling from Tactics as opposed to PAL because you like how Tactics challenged Mariah's thinking. I actually did like that too. I actually lean a lot more towards cognitive behavioral therapy as an orientation I would like to operate from as a counselor in the future. And that's why I also chose him for someone I would like to counsel me, although I did choose a more integrated approach between him and PAL's possible client-centered therapy theoretical approach. The one thing, the question that I posed in my original post was whether Tactics would be able to navigate a cultural difference between him and Mariah. I noticed, like you mentioned in your post, that he kept pushing for Mariah to become more independent, and she did mention that she wanted to be more independent, I'm assuming a few sessions back, because they seem to be further along in their counseling sessions with each other. But what I do know is that a lot of black people, or if you want to call them African American, we like community. A lot of us come from families that raise us in community. There's a lot of grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins involved in raising children. We like togetherness, and maybe an issue with Mariah becoming more independent as a black female. She may be subconsciously seeking social interactions because that might be the way she was raised, and that may underline, or it may highlight, a cultural difference between Tactics, who is a white male. The difference between how he may have been raised. He may have been raised as a man to be more independent, or as a white male per se, to be more individualized than Mariah may have been raised. So I think it's an interesting possibility that Tactics may or may not need to address, let's say in some future counseling sessions with Mariah. But they did do well. I think he did well with the way he counseled her. He did challenge her thinking and introduce behaviors. I believe that Tactics should have allowed Mariah to plan more what she wanted to do with as far as the activities. Like, she gave some suggestions for activities, and then Tactics will put in his suggestions for activities as well, and it just seemed like he was more direct in the conversation than she was. She seemed a little more passive in the conversations than I would like to see in a good counseling session. But I do agree with all the highlights you mentioned concerning Tactics and Mariah, and I do like the question that you posed concerning whether we should, like, how to balance feeling comfortable and leaning in when you're trying to have good posture in front of the client. I think I would have that similar question too. It may take some practice. Like, it may be something that you have to practice over time before you and I learn how to do that appropriately. Thanks again for your post, and I hope you enjoy my reply. Have a good day.